Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tweak It Tuesday. I'm Mrs. C. A lot of you remember me as a caterer and a cafe owner in my hometown, but I have taken it up another level, kind of gone in a different direction. I'm still in the kitchen, and this is my happy place. It's where I love to be. I'm so glad you're here with me. So glad you're here with me. So what Tweak It Tuesday is each week we're going to make a small tweak that adds a big difference to our health, to our kitchen, and to our lives. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's make today's tweak together. And hey, if you're watching the replay, drop a heart in the comments so I know you stopped by. So let's get started. Everybody knows that in the fall, we like those warm, yummy beverages. I'm going to turn my water on. We like those warm, yummy beverages that all the big companies advertise, but we also know that they're probably not great for us, that they've got some things in them that they shouldn't have, or that we shouldn't consume, I guess is what I want to say. So today we're going to do two things. We're going to make two items, two beverages. So my favorite mug, and we're going to start with a pumpkin spice latte. Everybody loves them. We wait for them all fall. If you're not a pumpkin spice person, wait, I got something else too. So don't get all twisted up about the pumpkin spice. So grab your mug. I'm going to let my water heat up just a minute. I'm going to show you some ingredients that I use in this and kind of give you a rundown of how I make this. So the first thing I use is a can of coconut cream. Okay, so the coconut cream, you don't want coconut milk at this point. You're going to work with coconut cream, and it needs to be cold. You need to put it in the refrigerator the night before you're going to mix this up. When you do that, it's going to separate. There's going to be water in the bottom, and the cream is all going to be solid and rise to the top. You want to, what I do, quite honestly, is I take the handle of a knife or my spoon or a wooden spoon or something, and I run it down the center of that cream or along the edge of the can, and I drain that liquid that's in the bottom off into a glass. So you want to do that, and then you're going to take the solid and you're going to put it in your mixer bowl, and you're going to add a little sweetener if that's what you want to do. You're also going to add a little bit of pumpkin. So, just regular canned pumpkin. Do not make the mistake of grabbing pumpkin pie filling. You don't want that. It's got sugar in it. And then you're going to add just a little bit of monk fruit to that if you like that sweet, which that's what most of us are after. So if you like that sweet, you're going to add that monk fruit to it. And you're going to blend it. So mix it up in your mixer. And the beautiful thing about coconut cream is if you have chilled it and you drain that liquid off of it, then, hey Trina, thanks for watching. Maybe you could go to the group event and tell people to come to my Facebook page. They're having problems logging on to the live on the group event. So if you can just let them know that this is where we're at, that would be great. Thanks for helping me out. Anyway, you're going to mix that up like you're mixing regular whipped cream. But we want non-dairy, right? We don't want to add that dairy into our lives, into our bodies. So we're going to use the coconut cream. We're going to whip it up, and it's going to whip up just like whipped cream. It does not get quite as stiff as whipped cream does. it stays a little bit softer than whipped cream. So anyway, then hot water. This is a must, I think, in every kitchen is one of these little electric pots. They're like 10 bucks at Walmart, maybe 20. But I've had mine for years and I use it all the time. Favorite mug. I'm gonna fill my mug up about halfway with hot water, okay? Now, some of you might be lucky enough to have a little espresso machine in your house. If you do, great. If you don't, they make instant. And as you're rolling your eyes, oh no, instant. I like the instant espresso. I do not like the instant coffee very well, but I really do like instant espresso. So I want you to remember that all of these measurements that I'm going to use from now on are to my liking. So if it's something that you want to add a little more to or not as much to, that's what you need to do, okay? So I'm going to add a full tablespoon into my half a cup of hot water. Okay, I like my coffee sweet. I'm not a huge coffee fan, but if I'm going to drink it, I want it sweet. So I put a little squirt of liquid stevia in it. I get this at Walmart. So I'm going to put that in there, and I am going to stir that a little bit to dissolve the espresso in there. Okay. All right. So I whipped up my coconut whipped cream last night. So that's all whipped up here. I'm going to take a quarter of a cup of it. And I have a little bowl here. And I'm going to tell you what I do. Remember I said that coconut cream doesn't whip up as stiff as dairy cream does? But I like that. I like that stiff flavor. Okay, so I'm going to grab about a quarter of a cup. That's how much I want in my coffee. About a quarter of a cup of the pumpkin whip. And I'm going to pour it in that little bowl. Okay, and I do have my... Sure I do. I have my handy dandy little spatula so I can get it all out of there. You know, a little scraper there. I'm going to do that. And in the bowl, I already had a scoop of my protein powder. This is going to stiffen that whipped cream up a little bit so it's not as runny. Okay, so I'm going to whip that up. I'm going to stir that in there real good, and then I'm also in the whip, I'm going to add just about a tablespoon of pumpkin puree. Just going to add that in there, just a dollop of that in there, and put that over there. Okay, and I'm going to stir that in there. That's going to be nice and smooth and pumpkin-y. That's going to be delicious. Okay, at this point, if you want to add a little bit more monk fruit into it, you can do that. So I have my monk fruit. I have a little scoop. This is a 1/16 of a cup, which is about a tablespoon. So I have this little scoop, and I'm going to add a little bit more sweetener to that. I'm a sweet girl. Ask Mike. I'm a sweet girl. So I'm going to stir that in there like that. Okay, I have already preheated. Now again, if you have a little espresso machine, you can go ahead and froth your milk and all that kind of stuff. This is coconut milk, and I like the vanilla flavored coconut milk unsweetened. So that's what this is. I'm going to add that to my hot water, and I do heat that up in the microwave. If you have the little steamer thingy, then you can do that. Okay, and so I also have this little guy, this little frother. I bought it because I thought it'd be cool. If you have one of these, this works really well. I'm going to tell you about me a little bit. Every time I use this, I make a mess. Every time. So if you're more handy than I am, use your little frother and froth your milk a little bit. That's up to you, okay? I'm not going to do it because I don't want to clean the mess up. Okay, now we have our coconut cream, or coconut cream, pumpkin spice cream, whatever you want to call it, okay? And then you're going to dollop that into your coffee. Okay, so when you go to the big coffee stores and you get yourself your $7 pumpkin spice latte, they put a sweetened pumpkin flavored syrup in that. And that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to get that yummy pumpkin spice flavor without adding the sugar and the sweeteners that you get in that product that they use. So the last thing I'm going to do with my pumpkin spice latte is I bought pumpkin pie spice mix. You can use individual let me see, you can use individual cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and cloves. You can use the individual ones if you want to. If you want it pre-mixed for you, this works. And you just sprinkle a little bit of that on the top of your mug. And I just spilled it all over. Did you see that? Laugh with me, please, because I just made a big mess. So, it's so good, you guys. It's so good. I just spilled it over. It's so, so good. All right. So, item 2. This is actually my favorite. I'm not a huge coffee drinker. I don't drink a lot of coffee. But my next thing that I'm going to make, I drink a lot in the wintertime. And it's so easy to make. And I use an insulated mug for this. Okay, I've already made one up because it does need to steep just a little bit. But it's dandelion root tea. And the reason I choose that is because dandelion root tea helps with digestion. It helps cleanse your liver. It helps with your appetite. It helps with so much in your gut that it's just something that I sip on a lot of. But I don't really care for the flavor of just dandelion tea. So I had to come up with something that I really did like. What I really do like is star anise. I use star anise, and I drop one of those in the bottom of my cup. And again, I put just a little squirt of liquid stevia in it. And then I buy my tea bags for my, for this tea. Wow, I spilled that right down the front of me. For this tea from Amazon, because they are a lot more cost effective than going to the grocery store and buying it. Cherise. Hey, you want to come up and just clean it up for me when we get done here? Yeah, I'll just leave it so you can see it. You're so funny. So anyway, I buy this from Amazon. I think there's 100 bags in here. There is. And it's a lot more cost effective than it is to go to the grocery store and get it. So my hot water, a tea bag, 1 star anise, and some sweetener. And let it steep for just a little bit, and it's delicious. It's even good after it's cooled off and it's warm. It's my go-to warm fall drink. But let me tell you something. If you don't know what star anise is or what it tastes like, it tastes like black licorice. So this is like a piece of candy for me. If you are not a black licorice fan, then put a few cloves, whole cloves in it, or put a cinnamon stick in it. And then you still get the benefits of the, dandelion tea and some flavoring, some lovely flavoring in it. And so, the last thing I want to tell you today is next week on Tweak It Tuesday, we're going to use some of the leftover ingredients that we made today. So what I want you to know is don't throw it away. If you go out and you buy the ingredients and you make this coffee, don't throw anything out. Save the liquid off of the coconut cream that I told you to drain off. Save that. You can put it in the freezer, put it in an ice cube tray and stick it in the freezer. That's fine. You can freeze your pumpkin too if you don't, but pumpkin will stay in the refrigerator for a full week. So if you went out today and bought a can of pumpkin and made this, then you would be able to use it next week. So the last thing I want to mention is I have a gift for you. If you watched today or if you picked up the replay, comment cookbook in the comments because I will send you an interactive cookbook that will evolve with this series. So every time we do a recipe or I have a tweak for you, it will go into the cookbook. So that's your gift from me for participating in Tweak It Tuesday. I can't wait to see you next week. And hey, this has been fun. I want to try and keep these at about 15 minutes. I don't want to take up too much of your day. So thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Share it with your friends. Remember, if they comment cookbook in the comments, I will send them the cookbook. And it's something that you can download. It's a PDF you can download. And every week it will evolve and you will get to have all the recipes as we build this together. Thank you so much for watching. Beau and I are so excited to be a part of your world. Have a beautiful day. I can't wait to see you next week.